What if we told you that the world's most powerful nation has its eyes locked on South Africa's ruling party? That deep inside the walls of Luthuli House, panic is brewing, phones are buzzing, and senior ANC officials are holding emergency meetings. The United States is no longer watching from the sidelines, it may be stepping into the ring. Could this be the beginning of an international reckoning for the African National Congress? Buckle up, because what's unfolding now could shake the very foundation of South Africa's political future. Luthuli House, the symbolic nerve center of the ANC, has long stood as a monument to South Africa's liberation and political power. But in recent weeks, whispers of external pressure have escalated into loud warnings. Yes, diplomatic cables, anonymous U.S. intelligence briefings, and international watchdog reports have all hinted at one shocking revelation: Washington is monitoring the ANC's leadership closely, and is allegedly preparing targeted political and financial responses. The fallout: potential sanctions, diplomatic isolation, and even asset freezes. But why now? And why Luthuli House? The trigger appears to be rising corruption allegations, state capture legacy dealings, and growing concerns about South Africa's recent foreign policy alignments, particularly its cozy relations with Russia and China. U.S. officials are reportedly alarmed by the ANC's refusal to condemn Russia's war in Ukraine, its economic flirtation with BRICS-led de-dollarization efforts, and what some in Washington call the authoritarian drift within ANC factions. A confidential U.S. Senate subcommittee reportedly labeled some ANC operations as hostile to democratic norms, strong language that suggests the ANC might soon face the same kind of pressure once reserved for rogue regimes. But there's more. Sources close to South Africa's National Treasury reveal millions in unexplained international financial flows tied to ANC-linked foundations. These revelations have allegedly landed on Washington's radar. Inside Luthuli House, the atmosphere is tense. Top officials are scrambling to understand just how deep Washington's investigation goes. Private meetings have been called, intelligence reports requested, and spin teams mobilized. According to insiders, a shadow crisis committee has been formed, with its sole task, mitigate the looming U.S. fallout. One senior ANC leader, who asked to remain anonymous, said bluntly, "This is no longer just politics. If the US acts, we're looking at personal sanctions, travel bans, frozen accounts, and an image crisis we may not survive." President Cyril Ramaphosa is reportedly being urged by moderate factions to open diplomatic backchannels with the US to de-escalate tensions. But others, aligned with the radical economic transformation bloc, are calling for defiance, branding America's actions as neo-colonial bullying. Should Washington proceed with punitive measures, the implications could be massive. Investor confidence could plummet. The rand could take a historic nosedive. South Africa's trade agreements, particularly under AGOA, African Growth and Opportunity Act, could be at risk. And worst of all, international aid and development support might get paused. Already, the European Union is watching the developments closely. Analysts warn that if the ANC becomes the face of political instability in southern Africa, it could trigger a ripple effect across the continent. Remember Zimbabwe in the early 2000s? Some fear South Africa is on the edge of a similar international isolation, only this time with even higher stakes. Transparency and cooperation. The party could launch an internal anti-corruption task force and invite international oversight, a bold but necessary move. Reposition foreign policy. By reaffirming commitments to human rights and distancing from controversial global alliances, the ANC could ease diplomatic pressure. Leadership change. Some whisper that Ramaphosa may become the fall guy, especially if US pressure intensifies. But here's the hard truth: the ANC is running out of time. Washington's gaze is cold, calculated, and rarely relenting once engaged. This isn't just another scandal. It's not just about dirty money or foreign policy stunts. This is about the soul of a nation and the international credibility of its leadership. The ANC once stood tall against apartheid, now it stands accused on the global stage. And if Washington does move, history will remember this moment as a turning point, for better or for worse. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into South Africa's political drama. Let us know in the comments, is this US involvement justified, or is it just another case of foreign interference?